Guys, based off Instagram, you have asked for this video, and that is how do you start appointment setting within 30 days time. So in this video, I'm going to hopefully give you the best breakdown of how you can do that in the next sort of 10 to 15 minutes. Exactly what I do by step-by-step timestamps, dates, etc. What to be doing, what to not be doing, and what to be looking out for. So hopefully this helps you. Let's get into it. Now, the structure of this video is going to be split into 4 simple phases. Week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. And by week 4, you should be completely competent and ideally on a roll, on an offer, and hopefully making some commission. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, week 1, what is the first thing that you should be looking at when you first get into appointment setting, you're first trying to land the role, and you're first trying to understand it? I would say the most important thing that you can do in the highest leverage charge is your personal brand. So what do I mean by this? Simply just your Instagram. We need to look at who we're trying to attract in terms of clients and whether or not our Instagram is actually doing that in the first place. Is there stuff on there? Is there stuff that we shouldn't be on there? Should you be adding things? Should you be taking it off? Etc, etc. So let's break that down very quickly and go into a few crucial steps. Step 1 within this phase 1 segment, the first thing that you're going to be looking for, and arguably one of the most important things of a quality personal brand, is a good profile picture. Now, I'm not talking about you dressed up in a tuxedo, but one where you can see yourself clearly. It's a good image. Maybe your outfit matches the background. You can see yourself maybe cutting off at the waist, absolute max. It's a good quality image, and it's going to fit that ICP of who we're trying to attract. Now, arguably the next most important thing is going to be username / your actual name on your Instagram. And what I mean by this is with your username, don't have like Tom534 underscore blah blah blah. Make it as close to your actual name and second name as you can. And if you've got a common name like, for example, Tom Davis, I get that it can be tricky. Use ChatGPT, have a play around, and I promise you'll find it. Then the next important thing is make sure you've got your actual name in there. For example, if I message Oscar over there, it's not going to come through as TJ Davies, it's going to come through as Tom Davis. So make sure you've got that on there so people know who they're speaking to. Next thing, a fairly obvious thing, don't buy followers and don't have a botty looking follower ratio. So if you've got 50 followers right now, I'd say get that up, follow a few of your friends, put your social media out there, at least build it to a couple hundred just to make it look like a real account. You know, it's not a bot, you're not trying to scam this person, and we're actually trying to build a bit of trust with that client. Lastly, highlights and posts. So this is where you actually showcase your lifestyle, who you are, the habits that you've got, the work that you maybe done if you've been a previous setter or sales experience or in the info space, and it is crucial that you maximize this. So I want to see clean images. Make sure you use yourself. It is your own Instagram at the end of the day. Don't be posting your dog, your family, all that sort of stuff. That's fine throughout slideshows, but you need to be the main feature. Try and build that aesthetic Instagram up. Go to great lengths, go to great efforts. If you've got nothing on your Instagram, something you can do is just spend a day going to places, go to bars, go to whatever it is, get some quality photos, even if it means you've got to spend the day in London or wherever. Do it, and I promise you the highest ROI you can do when getting in setting. Now, lastly, the overall Instagram looks good. The last thing that we need to make and check is the tag. Rarely people go onto it, but just in case, just make sure there's nothing that you wouldn't want that future client or a person interviewing you for a job to see on there. Because at the end of the day, your profile is doing 50% of the outreach work for you. So make sure it's up to scratch, because it's the best thing that you can do and the easiest thing that you can start with first. Right, by that point, that might have taken a couple of days, absolute max. But alongside this, and what you can be doing from now, sort of day 3 onwards to day 6, if not 12, is learning the actual crafts of appointment setting. So going out, doing your research, speaking to people that are in the same game, networking, joining free communities, going into things like YouTube, which is completely free, and learning how to use CRM systems like Go High Level, ManyChat. How can you adapt to your setting ability? How have you got the understanding and the knowledge? And when it gets to the point where you're finally getting onto interviews, are you going to be able to blow that person away with the knowledge and, you know, the volume that you've got? In addition to this, you could be using things like AI, Claude, ChatGPT, and all the other ones to practice your DM setting, phone setting as well. Practicing alongside some of your friends is some of the best things that you can do. And if you learn that, that opens up all these other doors. So dialing, hybrid setting, even triaging, and the list goes on. Right, the next thing that you need to be doing, and this sort of comes into this phase 2, if not phase 3, is learn your target ICP. Rather than reaching out to anybody that's got a course or anybody that's got an offer, feature and build yourself around a certain niche. For example, fitness. Say I've been in the gym for 5 years, I'm disciplined, you can obviously see I've got a decent physique. How can I tailor it specifically to fitness influencers? And maybe incorporating that into the bio is going to target that niche a lot better than, for example, Oscar, who's just appointment setting across the whole board. Now, an example of this could be putting something in the bio like, I work with fitness coaches to double their revenue in 90 days. You know, that is a lot more appealing than just high ticket sales in the bio. And this is something that I'll come back to later on in the video, but make sure your bio is actually optimized. I don't want to see appointment setter. I don't want to see high ticket sales. I don't want to see anything like that, for that matter of fact. You need to be specific and you need to pinpoint a certain ICP, not just a general, because nobody wants that. Right, alongside this now, this is sort of coming into that phase 3. You've found your ICP, your personal brand's up to scratch, you know what you're doing when it comes to setting. You need to start your outreach. And if anything, I probably would have started this even further on, or even further back, I meant, sorry. But volume is going to be key here. Now, anyone that I say starting getting in setting, you need to be doing a minimum of 100 outreach messages a day. I get this can be quite tedious, especially at the start, and you might go into to faces like, oh, I've outreached this person already, or I've done all the fitness coaches. I promise you, you haven't. There's so many methods, like going onto, for example, fitness coaches following, going through who they're friends with, going through their likes, their interactions, their comments. There will be thousands, and this is just a fitness niche. We're talking about e-commerce, property, all the other ones out there. There is going to be so many people. So with this outreach message, you need to make sure it's personal. You need to make sure you've linked it back to yourself in some sort of way. You need to stand out. You need to make sure you've actually looked at that person. When they read it, they go, okay, this guy hasn't just copy and pasted. He's actually gone into a little bit of detail, looked at my personal brand and said something that's relevant and actually benefits me reading it. Now, what I say to all my students is create a Loom video. One, because it's one of the easiest and the quickest ROI things that you can do. So with that Loom video, quickly, how should it look? I would split it into sort of 5 sections, bullet point what those sections are going to be, an intro, a little bit about yourself, leverage, skills that you bring to the table, what you're looking to do with their business, and then blah, 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 sign it off. If you can do that, record a natural looking Loom video. I'll put a quick example up on the screen of what that looks like. I know you're a busy guy, so let me keep this short and sweet. Now, it adds so much to your outreach and it makes it so much more personal. Now, what you can do with this, which is quite sneaky, is you can make a general one, but when you're addressing the person, hey man, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. My name is blah, 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 and then going into a little bit more detail. So your outreach message is quality, you've got a Loom video, you're sending out 100 a day, 700 a week, you will start getting responses. Now, it's gonna be your job to convert those responses. Hey, let's get on a call at some point, make it relevant, make it seem worthwhile for that client, and then get onto that interview and absolutely smash it. But that's not it. Something that you can be doing alongside this as well to get yourself into interviews is getting onto job boards, getting into networks, speaking with other setters, closers, etc., etc. And even if someone says no to you, that is absolutely fine. I appreciate your time. Thank you for getting back to me. Don't suppose anyone in your network is looking for a setter. Bang, open up another door and you've got all these directions that you can start going down. So it should be interview galore by this point. Now, for the interview, I would always say practice it if you can with somebody else, but if not, chat GPT. Get questions ready to ask that person that you're jumping onto a call with. Cash collected, have you had other setters? Is it an in or is it an outbound role? Is it going to be on ManyChat or Instagram? All these specific questions, and the list goes on, to be honest with you. If you're not too sure, send me a message on Instagram. I've got a massive list of them. These are the things that you need to be asking, and this is the stuff that's going to improve, number one, your knowledge, but also impress the sales manager or the person that is taking that call, interviewing you as the setter. All right, lastly, phase 4, and this is sort of days 20 to 30. You've bagged yourself a decent offer, you're working on this role. It is going to be hard at the start, I'm not going to lie to you. It is going to feel long, and it will be long, especially for people that jump straight into outbound roles or small accounts. At the end of the day, the input is what you get out, guys. So you need to be spamming that outreach, doing as much as you can, exceeding KPIs, making sure absolutely everything is tracked. Basic things like EODs cannot be missed, especially at the start, because this is how you start building. You're going to get that experience and build that relationship with that client, and as well as the people that they know or on the sales team. So it's one of the most important things. That's why at the start, if you want to excel, you have to give 110%, and by 3 months time, you could be making 5, 10, 15. You could even be out of setting entirely, moved on to sales management and starting to pick up the bigger things. One thing that I will say alongside a lot of this, and this is something that people miss when they first start setting, take photos of everything, CRM systems, videos, payouts, calls booked, calls confirmed, because it all adds up as evidence. It's social proof that you are a good setter, you're a quality setter, and you know what you're doing. In addition to this, any time that you leave an offer, you do well, get a reference, get a video, get a testimonial from that client that you've worked for and the results that you've brought them, because it will always work in your favor to help you out in the future to keep scaling and constantly keep moving forward. So that is pretty much it. That is the breakdown of how to start setting in the first 30 days. Now, to recap it very quickly, the first thing that you need to be looking at is your brand. How can you build it up from scratch? How can you make it decent? Next thing is learning the information, going around speaking to people, YouTube videos, combination of everything, common sense as well at the end of the day, guys. Who are they speaking to? How does this person speak? How can you mimic or copy it as the same? Next, and sort of side by side with this, is obviously going to be the outreach, your Loom video, creating it to a team, making it personal, making it actually feel worthwhile rather than a copy-paste bot message. Now lastly, just performance, putting in the effort, putting in the reps, getting the volume out there, and that's exactly how you're going to get to where you want to be within a couple of months' time. So guys, I know it was only a quick one, but if you found that helpful, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. If you've got any questions, head over to my Instagram. There's loads of free stuff, and if you're seeing this video today or within the next week of uploading it, then get over to my Instagram bio. There is a completely free masterclass I'm running on the 20th of August, 7 PM. Be there, and if it is after 20th of August when you're watching this video, send me a DM and I'll send you a completely free recording of that masterclass. Nice one, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. See you in the next one.